I have been listening to the Gap Band all morning, and if you know the Gap Band, you know funk. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling funky today. Not in the smell funky, I just had a shower, hence the hair. I need to do something about it. I need to have a shave, keep the moustache. Don't know what it is about moustaches. I like moustaches. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to print a Crest logo and rear logo on the back of a shirt, white shirt, using black plastisol ink. I'm just going to go through that process. Just going to burn a couple of screens, and I'm just going to get out there and do it. If you haven't already noticed, the way that I do my videos is I basically just wing it. I wing it. I don't mind winging it. Winging it's great, you know. It's the process of just getting a camera, having a shot, and not really putting in, you know, a lot of thought and just having it happen naturally. I like that. I like it just happen naturally, and it seems to work a little bit better than just organising it step by step, having a process. I like the fun of doing it. And the more and more I do these videos, the more and more I'm interested in just making videos rather than, you know, forcing them onto people, making people force them to have tutorials and this and that and the other. I like the natural feel of it. You know, just getting onto the camera, making something, looking back on it and saying, my goodness, don't I look like a dill pickle. Oh. Anywho, so I've got a design up here on Corel. I'm going to print it out onto my Epson WF7710. You know, you've heard me talk about it. Another note. Hey, look, I've been using this thing flat out for a while now, and I've started to notice small black dots coming up on my prints. I did a job for someone the other day. I used some transfer paper and there were dots everywhere. I said, hey, look, you know, you don't have to pay me for it. I'm actually going to have to go out and buy it and really service this printer. He was a friend. I wouldn't do that if it was a serious customer. You know, I would have said, hey, look, it's going to take a while. I'm going to have to get the printer serviced and do yada, yada, yada. But what I have found that on the rails of the printer, where the paper runs out, the actual little mechanisms have actually started to pick up the ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them using some alcohol and some cotton buds, and that should hopefully remove the ink and stop any future issues with my WF7710, because it's a good printer. It is really good. I had another issue. I didn't clean my jets. Clean your jets! I didn't clean my jet, and I had an issue with my magenta. It seemed to block up. Then I was getting print after print after print with this issue. I just wasn't getting the colour. It was like a greeny colour, because obviously it was just blue and yellow, and you know, I had an issue with that. But once I got the magenta working, just going through that maintenance phase, just make sure you service your printer. Just make sure you go through that process and make sure it's operating as it should. In my shed, so it's a bit different now. I've got a fridge, I've got my UV LED exposure unit, I've got my flash dryer, I've got my drying booth, which is absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness. I've set up a light in here as well, so that I can sort of get a little bit of light in here at night time, so I can continue working rather than having to wait until daytime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the back design. So I'm going to set that up, and as I've gone through in my previous video about my exposure unit, it takes around 35 minutes for these LEDs to expose that emulsion properly. and when it does, it exposes the emulsion. I can't get enough of how perfect it is, and I really haven't had any issues, and I'm really getting some good results with the emulsion that I use and these lights. So I'm gonna set it up, put the logo on the rear, get one of my screens out. Bellissimo. So there we go, I've got my 2 sheets of glass, my transparency, my screen, then I've got a piece of cardboard and my light going on there to really push that down and get that positive contact. Now, what I can do is just look at the time and turn her on. Perfect. I can just go about getting everything ready, everything sorted for the job. You know, I don't really have to rush, wait, anything like that. I can just go about doing my stuff. It's just so handy. It's really handy. I mean, maybe in the future I'll look into buying something that can, you know, do it faster when I'm getting a lot more jobs. I can sort of look at improving it. Oh, goodness gracious. Outside, it's so bright. But then I can go about getting it high. That's what we're working towards, because I've been on my own personal journey, to be honest, like with the business. It's been really good getting jobs, and it sort of goes up, down, but I'm really not forcing it. I don't want to force it. Sort of, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, but I'm on my own personal journey to make sure that I can get the process down pat. What I want to make sure is I can clean my screens, degrease them, put them in a drying rack, let them dry, at least give it a night for them to dry after I've emulsioned them. You know, so I want that process. I've got that process down to a day and a half. So like I can wash them in the morning, degrease them, put them in, and then within, you know, 5 hours they're ready to go. I can emulsion them that night, and then the next day I can actually start the process of burning the screen. I've got that down pat. Mwah. Awesome. Another process is not having those screens actually pre-sensitized through light getting into that drying rack. That was a massive issue. Having light already exposing my emulsion before I go to expose it myself. So the actual washing out was an absolute hassle. Such a hassle. And I was wondering, what's going on? But yeah, it was that pre-exposing that was causing me massive issues, and it was causing me a headache. I've gotten rid of it. I've sealed up that thing, and it is light tight. There is not a thing that can go in there. And it has made the washing out process 1,000 times easier, because you know you're washing it out and it's already so it's all semi hard. So you're washing it and you're sort of having to scrub it, and it was a bad time. So that's it. Getting them dried, emulsioned, then not having them exposed in that drying process. Then the actual exposing was so much easier when I had the screens in a dark area. It just made that process so much easier. Then I was able to get my time specifically, you know, then I could get my time because the emulsion wasn't already semi-hard. Some at the top were getting more light, some at the bottom, they were all different. It was just near impossible. But now I can say 35 minutes, boom, they are exposed exactly how I need them. And then washing out, spray it lightly with a little bit of water, then you can actually see it breaking down. It changes colour. The exposed emulsion is like a darker colour, and then the the non-exposed emulsion starts to lighten up, and then it just blows out. And I don't even have to put any force into that when I'm using it. I just use the mist, and it just blows out perfectly. And you can see it, you can walk your way around the design, and it actually starts to, you can see the hardened emulsion. It's really good. So just going through that process has been a personal thing. And then once I get this process down pat, I can say, hey, look, from start to finish, I can 100% say that I can have that image on that screen perfectly, and I can put it on a shirt without any issues. Then I'd be more comfortable offering businesses and things like that my screen printed products, because I just want to 100% offer nothing but quality, because that's one thing I hate it so much. I hate when I look at something and I can see it. Oh, it's such a 9 times out of 10 people are like, this is fantastic, I love it, I love it, I love it. But then I can go, yeah, but I can see right there at the corner of that, oh, I can see it. Oh, it's just that thing, eh? I bet you don't get this on your favourite channel. Put that there, put that there. So I've got two Crest logo designs I've got to put onto my shirt. So I'm going to use one screen and then put them on there. Just put them on opposite sides. And also, I figured out, I've started using packing tape on my screens. I get like 3 rolls for the same price. But it's 3 rolls for the same price as my one painter's tape one. The reason I was using this is because my emulsion wasn't exposed properly, and when I took the packing tape off, it used to rip the emulsion off. But because my emulsion is actually properly exposed, here's one I did. Look at that. That had, and completely spotless. As you can see, you know, I just put my packing tape across here, and you can see where it was only showing this much. No issues. It was really good. So now I've actually decreased that expense. I've got lots of it. I don't feel bad when I put lots of it on. Here we go. Just take this off. Go. Give it a nice hit on the front. On the back. And as you can see, the colour changes immediately. So that's your... Once you let it soak in, that actual emulsion starts to break down. And then we can start hitting it with just a little bit more, a little bit at a time, and you start to see it changing colour and then slowly blow out, which is absolutely, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I got a little bit of, I put up a video not that long ago about me washing it out. I do usually have stuff underneath to catch the emulsion coming out. This is what I've got here. You know, I've just got a tray for like oil and things, then I've got cardboard. And then I've put it in here just to really catch it, just so I don't have people upset at me about hurting the environment and things like that. I really don't intend to hurt the environment with, you know, just a couple of jobs a week. So it's actually starting to change colour. It's getting lighter. That's the emulsion starting to actually break down. As you can see, the colour change. Just get it a little bit longer, and it should really be easy to wash out. It'll be very easy to wash out. That's actually a little bit of ink from my transparency, but that washes out easy enough anyway, so let's get on to washing it out. design out, now I just go about and inspect it and make sure that there are no little bits of emulsion sitting there for when I post expose it. I really don't want any little bits in the corners or anything like that, so I'll just go through and just keep letting the pressure build up and popping it. Then it's got that flow and it actually pushes out that emulsion quicker. So pop, 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 just to get rid of all the little bits. I'll just go through and do that. Got my design. Looks great. Now I usually just sort of give it a little bit of a drip dry, and then I'll actually put it in front of my halogen light, which I've got set up. Usually just let it drip dry for a while, and then I'll put it in front of my halogen light and just let that halogen hit it, harden it up, and then she's all good to use. So that's going to be my back design. I've actually got my Crest logos in there already going. Hey, it's all coming together. Just go through that, and then I might go and put it onto a shot. Just have to see how it go. But see how much easier it was just using that spray function on the hose. It really doesn't use that much pressure. The initial pressure that when it comes off is a lot, and then it sort of tapers down, and you just lightly blow away that emulsion. And you can do that when your emulsion hasn't been pre-exposed at some point, because once it gets pre-exposed, it really can you can start washing it out, but you won't have that just trickles of water pushing it out. You actually might need to start using force, and yeah, that's when you know you've got a pre-exposed emulsion. So next time you see me, I will be printing. Back, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean this one up, stick on the actual Crest logo, and then go through getting that ready and then put it on the shot. So have fun. Yay, clean up. Front design, back design, yes, got to be happy with that. It's looking pretty good. Cured great, which is awesome for smaller designs with a heat gun. You just cure them up really easily because you don't really have to go across a large area. You just have to hit that small Crest logo area. But hey, fantastic, a job well done. I've gone through and I've actually degreased and cleaned all my screens today. So I've got all my screens except 2 which have been already emulsioned. So I'm ready to get some emulsion on them, which is going to be great. I love having ready to go screens for whenever orders come in. It just makes it so much easier, you know. And then if I feel like I usually leave them there maybe a week, 2 weeks, and if it goes past that, then I start messing around with them. I start putting my own designs and logos and things like that on it, just to use it. I don't like to leave my emulsion screens sitting there for too long. You know, I don't like them sitting there, because then they get old, start to wear out, you don't get a good clean crisp image, and you waste your time with it anyway. So you go to actually expose it, and it doesn't work out, and you've wasted a screen, and then you've put yourself back because you thought you had a screen there and you actually don't. So I hope you enjoyed the video of me pottering around today to get this done. I love you. I appreciate you. Ciao.